Please work. Please work. I don't have like anything unnecessary open, do I? All right, we're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. And I'm gonna open this on my laptop. This could get ended so prematurely. Nathan Kim, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. We got this is not going to be super long, so anyone who joins, it's very exclusive. Got some stuff to talk about. Big things, big things. Been taking a little break from going super crazy with content. Been taking a little bit of a break. It's been very busy. My kid isn't back there. She's actually in the other room, sleeping, hopefully. And I'm taking this opportunity to talk to you guys just for a little bit. It might get ended prematurely because I might hear screaming from this direction, and I might have to go and handle that. But in the meantime, hey Zika the Geeker, hey Shadowcraft, how's it going? Wanted to give you guys an update on a few things. As the year comes to an end, I'm starting to take things a little slow. Hey BCE, how's it going? Of course I remember you guys. You guys are the regulars. You guys are the regulars. It's like going to a diner. The usual, Zika the Geeker? You want the usual? Yeah, just got a couple things to talk about. First off, I've been doing a little bit of exhaust shopping for E46 M3 exhaust, and I've got some ideas. So you all very enthusiastically voted to go with the engine swap as the first big GTR mod. So what that basically means is when we get the car, it'll come with the inline six. We might have to do some restorative maintenance. We'll enjoy the car for a little bit. We'll have an exhaust on the inline six just temporarily, just so it doesn't sound like crap while we're saving up for the V8. But the V8, it looks like it'll be the first thing. So I kind of wanted to figure out, what exhaust to put on the inline six temporarily. And so I have an idea. Black Robin, welcome. Side exhaust. Well, it's gonna get the it's gonna get the side exhaust regardless of the engine, but we have to kind of figure out how we're gonna do that. I'm not talking about the side exhaust right now, because if we're gonna do the engine swap first, I'm gonna do the engine swap and some kind of side exhaust setup at the same time or soon after. I'll just have it be just the headers, and then we'll figure out how to make a custom side exhaust, because the official side exhaust is just for the inline six, not the V8. It's not for the V8. Tom, I should go with the classic silver and blue. I'm not doing silver and blue though. Someone's already done that. Someone has already made a Most Wanted M3 replica. So that's not going to happen. I'm not going to make a Need for Speed replica. I'm going to make a GTR, but it's not going to be a video game car. It's going to be my own thing. Anyways. I wanted to figure out. Wait, hold on. If the P60B40 engine came for sale by accessible cost, would I buy it? Well, I mean, if it's affordable, yeah, I would get it, but that would be really intimidating. It'd be cool. Like, if it costed less than $80,000 to buy a P60B40, then yeah, I would consider it. But I can guarantee you that if someone had a P60B40, even one out of one of the street versions, those detuned ones, even if someone put one of those up for sale as an engine, they could charge whatever they want for it. So it would be at least $100,000 or more. It's got $100,000 under the hood of that car. So it's not likely, unfortunately. It'd be really cool to have an actual P60B40. Right now, the only way for a civilian to have access to one of those engines is to buy a street version. And those go for like tens of millions of dollars. They're not even really for sale. So you have to realize that you've got a car with like less than 10 made, I think. I can't remember now. It's been a while. You got less than 10 of those things made, and none of them are for sale. So you have to consider that the P60 B40 is a prototype. But the engine I am going to go for, someone asked, what motor am I going to go for? I'm going to go for the engine out of the E92 M3, which is very similar, different crankshaft configuration, slightly different firing order, but it's the same displacement. Makes a similar noise if you have a good exhaust, and it's 4 liters. Did I already say that? Same displacement. That's what I said. And it's going to be great. And plus, there are turbo kits out there, and you can, build the you can build it, forge internals, upgrade, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, it's going to need a pretty strong clutch for the amount of torque this car is going to make. Another thing is the gearbox, but I'm not here to talk about that right now. I'm not really here to talk about the GTR build in full. That'll happen. Well, if the deal goes through, we'll see. If the deal goes through, I'll let you know when the car might be coming. I'll give you a hint. There's a lot of cars I have in mind. One that I really want right now that is on the market that I am willing to get. But there's a couple things that need to fall into place first. In 2024, the R34 is coming. Yes, that is also true. Anyways, I need to quickly... You guys can hear me fine. I'm getting that impression, which is good. It's very good. I'm going to open the chat on here. And I'm going to switch to this. Okay. What do I usually use? I usually use my Forza scene, don't I? Don't play Forza anymore, really, to be honest. Do I still have it? Where is it? Do I call it FH4 on here? Yeah, I do. All right. Oh, pin chat. Amazing. I don't know what that means. I don't have time to figure that out. Put a spark plug in the end of the exhaust and you'll have flames. On what car? We're just going to tune it to do that. What we're going to do for flames in the M3 E46 is during gear changes, we're going to not cut the fuel, just the timing, so that you've got all that fuel in the exhaust, and when it all comes back on and it ignites again, it's going to ignite it all at once, and it's going to make a gunshot sound and proper race car fire. And it also helps with throttle response too, which is good. But yeah, still thinking of getting the RS3. Absolutely, I am leaning pretty hard towards that. But I've still got 3 mods I want to do to the WRX before I'm ready to really be done with it. I want to finish it before I replace it with something else. But the RS3 is a real thing. I'm going to have straight cut gears. Of course I'm going to have straight cut gears. We're going to go with a Hollinger gearbox. Expensive, but not as expensive as X-Track. What we'll probably do, we'll do the engine swap, and we'll use the 6-speed out of an E92 M3. And then when we have $20,000 to spend on a transmission, we'll do that. But I'm cool with starting with the engine. That sounds like a lot of fun. Someone asked about the livery, or at least the color scheme. It's going to be purple and black. It's going to be very similar to Dodge Plum Purple or Lamborghini Viola Parsife. It's not going to be like a midnight purple, because you want to be able to see the contrast between the black and the purple in whatever lighting you've got. Am I going to get the Mustang Mach-1 2021? Unlikely. I am more interested in the GT350 or even the GT500 if I were to get either. If I were to get a modern Mustang. Am I going to have the M3 GTR paint job for Most Wanted? No. No, probably not. I don't think I'm ever going to make a restart to install the latest Windows updates. Pick a time. I, God damn it, Bill Gates. 10 p.m. 5:10 p.m. What time is it? Sure. Whatever. Go away. We are going to do the M3, like, a very similar V8 swap, very similar to the GTR engine. Just making sure my kid isn't screaming in the other room. Anyways, in the meantime, Windows 10 updates do suck. Well, I really want the loud the 10 años. I can't remember how to pronounce that. I can't remember how to pronounce the A's from Spanish. It's just all been wiped from my brain. I want loud gears, but Hollinger transmissions typically aren't that loud when it comes to the gear whine. But anyways, today we're talking about exhaust for the S54. So I've had a couple of cool suggestions. I mean, there is so I can go to this again. What is it called? If I go to here, so this is where a lot of the more professional work will be done. Scottsdale Motorsports in Scottsdale, Arizona. They're the ones that can supply us with the official M3 GT S54 inline 6 side exhaust. This is the headers. That's not the image. These are the headers, all right? And these are a big deal because while they might look simple to like the uninitiated, these are actually very special with all these different bends and all these designs. This is probably the most expensive M3 E46 header you'll ever see. I think the headers alone, not including X pipe and side pipe, these headers can cost more than $10,000 because these were developed for the official race cars. This is for the P54 technically, not the S54, but you can put it on an S54 because it's largely the same engine. Extremely expensive. This is what it looks like when it comes out the side. So basically it's 3 pieces instead of 4. Because on the normal, $10,000. It's a real BMW Motorsports race car part. It's extremely expensive. So if we were to go with that, that means we're sticking with the inline 6 for a long time because that is an insanely expensive exhaust part. But most of you said V8, 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 V8. So it's very unlikely now that I'll go with this these headers. The Super Sprint exhaust. Super Sprint is what I'm leaning towards for a couple components on the car. So what I'm considering, let's go to, what is it called? Let's go to Rogue Engineering first. And they've got this, and they've got the rasp pipe. No, I don't want to go to Hard Motorsport. What the hell is Hard Motorsport? So I was considering for the muffler, right? Either the Rogue Engineering M3 Diablo exhaust or the Super Sprint race exhaust, because I thought, both of those sound pretty good. And just for those of you that don't know, the E46 M3 exhaust is 4 pieces. So you've got, we'll start at the back. We've got the muffler here, okay? For those of you that don't know, we've got the muffler here, and then we've got what's called Section 2, which doesn't have cats or anything like that. It's just like it's like a second X pipe or something. It's hard to really explain, but this is the Section 2, and then this is Section 1. This is where a lot of people will put resonators on both of these pipes, like the Rogue Engineering rasp pipe, if you guys want to see that. Because for those of you that don't know, the E46 M3 in the US has a pretty bad, rasp. Oh, there's no picture. And so what the Rogue Engineering pipe will do is it'll put a couple resonators here. It already comes with one. This isn't a catalytic converter. And it will get rid of that horrible rasp that the U.S. domestic market cars have. So that's the first three pieces. You got muffler, section 2, and section 1, and then you got the headers. For those of you that don't know, actually, I could make a Car Topics Explained episode about this, I suppose. The basics of the E46 M3 transmission exhaust. The basics of the E46 M3 exhaust is that for the US E46 M3, the ones in America, the catalytic converters are in the headers. But in European cars, the catalytic converters are actually in the section 1 pipe, and the Euro headers do not have catalytic converters. So what you can actually do if you've got a US car is you can actually straight pipe the car using factory parts. Let's see if I can find the headers. I know that, is it Rogue Engine? No, it's Turner Motorsport that has them. Let's search a Euro and see what happens. Turner Motorsport has some good stuff. Let me just search E46 M3 Euro headers. Someone has them for sale. Here we go. Turner Motorsport has them. Not even that expensive. Just like basically $1,200. I mean, there'll be some extra money for the install, but you can basically straight pipe your car with these factory headers. It's pretty cool. Pretty awesome, honestly. Pretty awesome, honestly. What did I say the first time? Pretty honest. Honest? I don't know, man. Baby brain. So here's what I'm thinking. We're going to get the E46. And now there's actually a good chance it'll be a 6-speed manual, which I know a lot of you will like. I was wanting to try the SMG transmission just to see if I could make that cool. But there's a really nice 6-speed, not too far from me, for sale. And it looks good. It looks like a lot of fun, and I really want it. So that's probably where we're going to go unless if that gets bought. It would not surprise me if it got bought in like 3 days. It was just listed yesterday or the day before. And what I'm thinking is, if we're not going to do the SMG, basically the first mods we'll do once we make sure everything is mechanically sound, we'll get these headers, we'll put in the rasp pipe, and we'll put on a nice muffler, and then we'll save up for the V8. But just so that we can make the stock engine sound cool, you know? And I feel like this, with a rasp pipe and some nice mufflers, well, we won't mess with the Section 2 unless... No, let's not mess with the Section 2. That's unnecessary. But we can straight pipe it, and we can do some kind of fun flame tune because of that. Sorry, phone call. So I think that would be cool. But yeah, that's all of the exhaust stuff that I wanted to talk about, just to let you guys know. Like, because it's kind of neat learning. I didn't know originally, for some reason, that the E46 M3 was 4 pieces for the exhaust. I didn't know it was headers, section 1, and section 2, and then muffler. And I'm sure that some E46 M3 owners in the US didn't realize that this is just a resonator. It's not really explained very well anywhere. But yeah, in the US, the headers have the cats. And then in Europe, section 1 does. So what you can do, put on some Euro headers on your US E46 M3. Technically, it's all factory parts. It's just not factory in the US, I guess. But technically, it's still factory. It's still OEM. And you've got a straight pipe. So I think that's really cool. So I actually think that would be really fun to do because it's like such a simple mod and it's using a lot of stuff from the BMW parts bin, which I think is kind of fun. But yeah, we'll do that. And then we'll go with V8 and body kit and all that sort of stuff. I might make the body kit and the livery a very late stage thing because then I can have fun with like the reveal because then it's basically done. So what we can do, what I was thinking is we do V8 some chassis prep, weight reduction, safety cage, chassis reinforcement, and all that sort of stuff. Then we do the side exhaust, which will be much cheaper than the chassis prep. And we'll have to do a couple things with suspension and the diff and all that. The engine is going to start out naturally aspirated, but I do want to go with some kind of forced induction, preferably turbos. I know VF Engineering is very cool. I saw someone mention VF Engineering. If you have an E92 M3 and you just want some quick and easy power that's nicely tuned, go to VF Engineering. They know what they're doing. They really do. So, yeah. Anyways, that's not the only thing I wanted to talk about, but there's also that. Now. Why? Now we want to talk about the WRX. If you haven't seen already on Instagram, I do want to replace the WRX someday with something else. I love it. I love the car. There's nothing wrong with it. I just want to move on to bigger and better things. So the next car will still be the daily, if that makes sense. Like the M3 is going to be the project car that if it breaks, it doesn't matter. Like it's not an emergency expense. Like I don't have to immediately repair the car if that breaks. So the next car will be 4-door, back seats, well-made, reliable, and I'm honestly leaning towards the Audi RS3 because stock it will be decently quicker than the WRX. It comes with a dual clutch transmission, which I think is really cool. And because of that, that also means my wife can drive it. Because me having two manuals seems like doesn't seem very convenient. Because if the Camry breaks, she has nothing that she can drive. But if the Camry breaks and we have the Audi, then Heather can drive that, and I can awkwardly drive the BMW to work. So, I mean, the BMW does have back seats, but I can't imagine how spacious it is back there. Anyways, so let's talk about the WRX. We got two things to talk about, really. I want to show you this if I can. How do I have... Okay, give me 1 second, because I need to log into something. An Evo 8 or 9, that is not what I would call practical. The several parts on those cars, like the jump time, I'm not going to lie, those cars are not particularly reliable. They're in rotary territory. Anyways, I wanted to... I'm going to log into Google Drive. That's not correct. That's Facebook. I can't see my screen. Okay, here we go. So, for those of you that don't know, you should be able to, in my videos, you should be able to get access to the parts list for the WRX. I think it's in the description. It should be. It should be. Let's go back to this. Here we go. So this is kind of my spreadsheet that I use to keep track of what's happening with the WRX. So we've got future parts that I want or am considering, along with part numbers, some notes, and other things like that, so that if people want to do anything that I've done to my car to their own car, they kind of know how I did it, and they don't have to do all of the weird research that I did. Like, for example, with the blow-off valve, right? Greddy Type S blow-off valve. I don't know what the part number is. I just got it off of eBay. But I do include the adapter I used, because it's not a part that's meant for the WRX. You know, it's not a bolt-on part. You know, we had to change from recirculation to open vent, basically, so that we could hear the blow-off valve. And it sounds great and it works great. It does require a Pro Tune, because otherwise the car will die at idle because it doesn't know what the heck is going on, the ECU. We've got a little over 300 brake horsepower, which is cool. Will I put a Trust T78 turbo kit on my car? On what car? On the M3? Probably not. Definitely not on the WRX. I don't know where that would fit. If you're talking about like a Skyline or something, probably yes, but I don't have one. What about a video teaching Heather how to drive manual? I can barely convince her to do that not on video. She told me, and this is in her words, there is a 1%, no, it was a 1% chance that she will ever be willing to learn how to drive manual. And I'm like, really? Really? Come on. Do I like Miatas? I don't know. I have mixed feelings about the older Miatas. The new one, I'm just not sure. Was that the joint venture between Alfa Romeo and Mazda? Well, at least it's better than zero. Nice. Anyways, so basically, back to the WRX. I want to do the 2018 facelift front bumper with different fog light bezels and get that on the car so that it doesn't look terrible. Because as you guys know, I drove the car through a storm drain because I didn't know it was there, and it completely wrecked my front bumper. And also just the 2018 bumpers look so much better. And so I want to do that, and then I want to wrap it, and then I want to go with some wheels. So let's start with the bumper. So the bumper is just an OEM bumper, but it's been paint matched by Subi Speed, so I can order the bumper, and we don't have to paint it. We can just put it straight on, and I think that is much better. It starts out pretty pricey, $1,600 for an OEM bumper, but it is the whole thing with the lighting and all that sort of stuff. So we'll do that. Then we'll do the wrap because now all of the exterior parts will be on. And then wheels and maybe headlights, depending. But those are like the last couple things I really want to do to the WRX. And then it's on to bigger and better things. But I also wanted to just tell you guys, for those of you, I don't know how many of you actually have cars that are modified. But I recommend two things. One, if you are planning on selling your car, or you think there's any chance in hell that you are selling your car that you love so much that you're personalizing it, you should do two things. One, keep receipts. Make note of who works on the car, what parts are being put on, part numbers and details and notes, kind of like how I'm doing, because that can really help with resale. And I'm going to tell you a story that Herschel Brewer told me, without naming any names, that there was someone that bought secondhand a E46 M3 race chassis, an official one. And he had the receipts and all the documents, and so he could prove that that was a real BMW Motorsport chassis. I can't remember which one it was. I can't remember if it was a VLN or if it was or a GT chassis. It might have been a VLN. Still very cool. And he had a roll cage put into it that was supposed to meet FIA regulations and standards. So then they had all the people from the FIA come down and certify it, and the roll cage got stamped. But he didn't hold on to the FIA certification documents. And 5 years later, when he tries to sell the car, when it's got all sorts of parts and mods on it, the only thing that he can prove is that it's an official race car chassis. He can't prove that the pistons are out of a race car. He can't prove that the cams and the crankshaft. He couldn't prove any of that because he didn't hold on to documentation. It could have been anything, and he wouldn't have been able to prove what it was. The only thing he could prove was that it was a race car chassis. He still was able to sell it for a good amount of money, but he could have sold it for much more if he had proved that. And if you keep track of who worked on it, that would have increased the value even more. Because let's just be clear here. If you've got an official race car chassis, and you want it to be done super properly, no aftermarket, no nothing, send it all the way to BMW and have your E46 M3 be made into a proper race car, you need $600 to $700,000 at least, and that is the truth. That is actually the price range that you would be expecting from a minimum. And this is using modern, brand new, custom-made factory parts from BMW just for you. It's more than $500,000 at least. It's a race car, and they're building it just for you from scratch. They might use some like parts from modern race cars, like I think it's the P63 out of the M8 race car. They're going to use an X-Track $60,000-$70,000 racing transmission. You know, when you're building an actual race car, like, because the M3 project I'm telling you guys about that I want to do, that's not an actual race car from BMW. It's nowhere near. I could spend 150 grand on it. I'm probably not going to, but even if I did, it would not hold a candle to the work that is done to actual BMW race cars. And when you do get that work done, and then you decide you want to sell the car and you can't prove it's been done, you're out of luck. You either dig through your filing cabinets and make a lot of awkward phone calls, pathetically begging people to vouch for you, or you sell your car for less than half of what it's actually worth, or what you could sell it for. I don't know how much it's worth, given that whole R34 GTR thing and how M-Spec nerds are like 280 grand at this point, at least on the auctions. But yeah, that's my advice to you guys. Make sure that you keep track of what you do to your cars, even if it's simple stuff or big things. Make notes. Make note of who did it, part numbers, and all that sort of stuff. Because otherwise, it's all going to go down the drain. And it's going to be extremely depressing. So even though this is just a WRX, you know, when I put the car up for sale, people will have a detailed understanding of what's been done to it, you know, what the intake was, you know, what the part numbers are, the exhaust, like every little pieces, the adapter for the blow-off valve, what clutch is on it, what I did with the fog lights, what wing is it? Because, you know, a lot of people might assume, oh, that's just a normal GTC 300 WRX wing, when actually the mounts on the actual WRX wing are further out closer to the edge of the trunk, and I hate that, so I got a wing that's actually normally meant for an STI because it looks better, and so I use the part number for the STI version. So that's very important to know, and I also will name drop some people from different companies. I'll talk about the tuners and where I got the parts and all that sort of stuff. You should do that. It's just a good habit to have. So anyways, I can sort of hear my kid shouting in the background. One last thing. This can be quick. One last thing. Some of you guys have been asking me about my Discord and what it is and this, that, and the other. And so here's the awkward thing I want to kind of discuss when it comes to Discord and Patreon and YouTube members and all that. A few of you guys are already asked, did I buy my WRX? Yeah, a long time ago. It's a 2015 and I got it in 2017. So I think it's depreciated a good amount since then. We got it for $26,000, I think. And now it's probably worth 21 or 22. Doesn't have a ton of miles. I think it's a little over 50,000 miles. Anyways, what was I saying? What was I talking about? Let me just check my notes. So I want to talk about Patreon, YouTube members, and all that, because I have a few patrons and I have YouTube members, and I've spoken to most of you, like directly, most of the members and patrons, and I think it's really cool that you guys are doing that. But I wanted to ask you guys if I should relocate all of like the extra monetary support that you guys are giving me. I personally didn't realize you guys were going to give me any. But should I at some point get rid of Patreon and move everything to YouTube members and make the Discord like public? Because one person on Instagram asked me, you know, what's your Discord? And it's like, well, the Discord right now is exclusive to just patrons. And I feel like to suddenly make it public would be unfair to the patron members, because one of the main reasons why you can why you should become a Patreon patron is to get access to this private chat room where you can talk to other people and also me about M3s, R34s, and this, that, and the other, and it's quite peaceful and controlled. So if I were to suddenly make it public, it's hard to really make an argument for what they're really paying for. I could make like a special chat room within the Discord just for patron members, or my other idea is that if people are willing to switch to YouTube members, because here's the other thing. On Patreon, I can offer something like the Discord. On YouTube members, I can offer things like exclusive videos. Like, for those of you that are members, you know that there's exclusive content already up for you guys to watch. There's a cool edit of Supercars. There's that Craig Lieberman interview I did with him, but it's completely uncut and it's the full thing, so it's like an hour long or something. And I can hear my baby. And you can also... Ooh, I might have to come back. Okay, I'm going to play something, but I'll be right back. So can you guys discuss for just a second how we should handle the whole patron thing and YouTube members, and then I'll come back and I'll read your messages because I need to go and be a dad for a second. This is incredibly awkward. Wait, no, she stopped. She stopped. Wait. Because sometimes she does that. She'll, like, make noises. And then she'll go back to sleep. Okay. Maybe not. Maybe we're fine. Are we fine? Okay. Anyways, back to what I was saying. So you guys didn't really get to... That's the other thing I'm worried about, is if I make it public, a lot of people are going to join. So the first option is I keep Patreon and I keep YouTube members for people that... Because I don't know if I really want to be one of those YouTubers that offers merch, you know? Like, because that's not really my thing. The product or service that I want to provide is videos. You know, like content. I don't want to pretend that I'm someone that sells t-shirts or hats or shoes. Nothing against people that do. YouTubers are not, but it's just not really my thing. You know, if I'm going to give you guys a product that you guys are willing to pay for, I want it to be something that I am familiar with and is something that I actually believe in. You know? Like, how do I know if I'm selling good t-shirts? How do I know if my hats are quality or anything like that? With videos, I know the quality I'm putting out. With Discord, you know, if it's an exclusive chat room, that makes sense. So, but here's the thing. I've got people that are YouTube members and I've got people that are Patreon patrons. The Patreon patrons do not get access to the stuff that the YouTube members get access to. So I don't know where I want to go with that. It's not a big deal. It's not a huge chunk of the earnings I make off of YouTube. But I want to make sure that for those of you that are willing to go the extra mile to support the channel for any reason, that you've got options that are worth it. You know, like, because I want it to be fairly balanced. Make another Discord for non-Patreons. Might not be a bad idea. Because the whole reason why I like Discord is because it's more controlled. Because I've got Instagram, I've got Facebook, we've got YouTube comments, we've got Twitter. And you guys message me, and I try to respond to you when I can and when I find time. And, you know, I'll get a message on Instagram of, like, a message request. I'm like, okay, I'll respond to that later, and then I don't. But with Discord, you know, I log into that basically every day. So that's one of the reasons why I tell people, if you really want to have a reliable conversation with me that's ongoing and doesn't really stop, become like a patron member for like $1 or something. I can't remember what the prices are. Let's go to one of my videos and check. I have a Patreon. That's literally like today's video as well. Oh, that's funny. I forgot that was coming out today. If you go to Patreon, my Patreon, yeah, $1 a month, and you get to talk to me. I mean, presuming you can afford to spend $1 a month, you get access to a Discord where you can just talk to me about whatever you want. And you also get access to a couple things that aren't like public, like the BMW M3s that I'm considering buying. I'll put in the chat as well in like a special section. So I don't know. I don't know what I want to do yet. I don't know if maybe I want to set a goal where if I get like a certain number of members, I make the Discord public, and then I make like a patron only chat room, or I don't know. Because I'm not really trying to force you guys to give me money. That's not really what I'm after. I'm just trying to create services that are a little special, and give you incentive to do it while also enjoying the free content I make. But yeah, it's not a big deal, but I do want to figure it out. But yeah, simple stuff. I am working on next month's commute videos as well. I hope you guys are enjoying those videos. I know I'm making just one of those every day, so that's why I really wanted to stream today, so you could have something a little different to consume and not just commute videos. But I scheduled a commute video for each day of October, because I needed a break to figure out what I wanted to go with the channel, what direction I wanted to take it in. So in November or December, I am going to make a vlog reflecting on 2020 and also giving you guys kind of the roadmap I have for the channel, because a lot of the old stuff isn't working, and some of the stuff I'm trying to do right now isn't working, and I want to keep the channel growing. You know, it's growing, but it's a lot slower. So I got to figure that out. All right, I'm going to go. I have responsibilities. Again, that's another reason why you haven't seen that much of me. And I'll see you guys next time. You guys are awesome. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.